Hi y'all, I'm back for my second video. Try not to judge my hair too harshly. I just got it cut yesterday. It's been less than 24 hours. I do not know how to style it yet. So still working on that, but this is what it is. I think it looks cute though. I like my hair. So this month I wanted to do kind of a light, fluffy subject where I want to talk about music. Like many people, I am a huge music fan. I grew up singing and taking guitar lessons and all sorts of other stuff, doing choir, chorus, things like that. And I didn't really keep up with it. I haven't taken a voice lesson since I was 22, so about 11 years ago. Maybe I was 21. I don't know. I think I was still 21. So it's been a while. Even though I'm no longer a performer, I still love listening to it. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about some of my favorites from 2019. What I do is I make a monthly playlist. I've been keeping them since about 2009, but they're not comprehensive. It's just some stuff. And I didn't want to put every single song that I listened to last year, so I'm just going to pick some of the favorites. They're not all going to fit here, so if you want to see more, check the blog danitsawrites.com. Then also I'm going to try and link a Spotify playlist to the bottom, so check for that, because I already made the playlist. I just got to figure out how to link it. I'm sure it's not that hard. So January. I picked two songs from my January playlist. One was Hard to Handle by the Black Crowes, and the other one was Al fin me armé de valor by Rayleigh Barba. Those were both thanks to my dad. The Black Crowes one was because my dad was watching like America's Got Talent or Idol or The Voice or something, and he came across this little girl. She's like, I don't know, somewhere between 10 and 13, and she was singing a version of Hard to Handle. I used to love this song in high school. I had both the original Otis Redding and the Black Crowes, and was it Otis Redding the original? We're just gonna say that Otis Redding was the original. So when he started singing it badly, it got stuck in my head, and then I had to stick it in my playlist, and that's just the way that worked. And the second one, the Rayleigh Barba song, is also because of my dad. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my list of songs. It's not because I'm trying to avoid eye contact. So this song my dad loves and plays all the time. My niece, who was 11 at the time, hated that song, and that was because there was this part in the chorus that said a bad word. So every time she would listen to it, when that part came out, she would start screaming, "No!" And I thought it was the funniest thing, so I downloaded it so I could play it around her and annoy her because, you know, mature. But I actually wound up really liking the song. In February, I had an interesting mix. I'm looking here at No Children by the Mountain Goats, Icky Thump by the White Stripes, Underground by Kimya Dawson, and Tipperary by Nellie McKay. And I don't even know where that came from. I was probably just kind of in a little rock-ish, like indie rock kind of vibe that month. And then Nellie McKay, I don't know. I used to listen to her like 10 years ago, and then I kind of stopped, but I think I saw her, I think I heard the song in like a movie or TV show that I was watching, commercial, I don't know, somewhere, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot about this song. I first found her when she made an appearance on Conan O'Brien's show back 10 years ago. And I loved her voice, and I still love her voice, and I would love to see her live. I think that would be fun. I know she's done like musicals and other stuff too, so I don't know. Maybe next time she's in town, I'll catch her. If she's even still touring. Oh no, what if she's not touring anymore? Okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. The Mountain Goats, I don't know where I got that song from because I've literally never listened to any of their other songs. Icky Thump was because it came on the radio when I was driving around one of my clients at work, and I'd forgotten how much I liked that song, so I listened to it. I think the Kimya Dawson was just because of the Icky Thump. I feel like they have the same vibe, but also that song, Underground, is really fun to sing. In March, I was listening to a lot of Frankie. If you don't know Frankie, she's an independent artist. I know of her because she works with a lot of people that I met in the Bay Area music scene, and so that's how I know her. She did a song with Scott Hoying from Pentatonics and Superfruit called Ghost. And the music video is awesome. It's kind of a Grease vibe, super cool. I like it a lot. And the song is super fun to sing. She also released Paper Doll and When I'm Ready, and I love those. Like, they really hit me hard, and in different ways, but they were both fun to sing. A big theme in the music that I listen to is things that are fun to sing because I love to sing. And so those kind of fit that. I also have the song Trampoline by Shade, and this is one of those songs I haven't listened to the radio consistently since like 2004. That's when I stopped listening to the radio, and it wasn't because like, it was because I hated all the music on the radio, and also I was probably a little more pretentious when I was, you know, 18, 19. But I actually found that song on the radio when I was driving one of my work cars, because there's no like Bluetooth or audio jack or anything in that particular car, and I actually really liked the song. And then a couple months later I found out that my niece really liked the song, so now when I drive her anywhere she sings along and it makes me happy. May I had Feel It Still, as done by Postmodern Jukebox. I really love bands that make quirky covers that really turn a song on its head. So Postmodern Jukebox I heard of when I was living in San Francisco years ago. I remember in one of my writing class everybody was like, you have to listen to Postmodern Jukebox, and they played me, I think, Chandelier, and I was like, oh, I've already seen this, I know this. I just didn't know what they were called at the time, and now I know what they're called. So that song I was kind of like half and half about the original version, but this version I really like, so I played it a lot. I also had another version by Pomplamoose that I was listening to at the same time, because I think they came out roughly at the same time, or I found them at the same time, I don't know. I also have here I Turned My Camera On by Spoon. May was the month that I went to see Phantom Planet at their reunion shows. I went to the show in Costa Mesa, and the DJ who was spinning beforehand was playing all these songs from the 90s and early 2000s. And so I was trying to remind my niece about the video with the little, keep on the little yellow robot thing that looked kind of like a peep that would dance around to it. It was like, I don't know, it was cute. And so I went home and watched it, and immediately the song got stuck in my head. So that's pretty much it for May. So in June I took a week off of work because I was feeling burnt out. It just so happens that the week that I took off was the hottest week of the year. That Monday and Tuesday it was over 110 degrees. That's also the time that I cut off all my hair because I couldn't stand the heat, and I have a lot of hair. So to get out of the heat, I went to see Rocket Man. It wasn't a movie that I was particularly excited about going to, but it was playing at the time of the highest heat, and so I went. And it wasn't bad, but it reminded me of this song. I found this song the first time, not like I found it, but I heard about it the first time when I was watching season 3 of American Idol, and George Huff sang it. And he did a really great job. He amped up the gospel feel that the song already has, and it made me happy to listen to it. Again, fun to sing. And then I have a song from like 10 years ago called A Puro Dolor by a band called Song by Four. I've never heard any of their other songs, but I remember this one being a big hit. And I think I was just randomly listening to one of my old playlists because last year's theme for music was I don't know what to listen to. I used to find music by going to live shows. I don't do that anymore because I'm old, and driving to LA is a lot more work than is necessary in my life at this point. So I don't really go to shows anymore. So I was listening to this old random playlist and the song came out, and I'd totally forgotten about it. So it was a nice little surprise. Check it out. It's fun, like Mexican pop ballad. I think it's Mexican. It's in Spanish. I don't know. Then we skip to August. I was listening to some Holy Child. They released a song called Wishing You Away, and that song was really personal to Liz, and it really hit me right in the gut. It made me feel for her, and I really enjoyed listening to it. I'm glad she made it. And I hope it was helpful to her. It was definitely helpful to me. So August also brought us a Pomplamoose cover of Sucker by the Jonas Brothers. I didn't know who sang this song. I'd never heard it before hearing this cover, and I've only heard it once or twice since. The real reason I listened to it in the first place was because Mama Tonjes was in it. I love Megan Tonjes. She's so funny, she's so smart. And I've only come to know of her recently, like within the past maybe year or two, so I missed her whole singing stuff. So to get to hear her sing with Pomplamoose, a band I already love, was amazing. And I still listen to the song constantly. I've heard the original since then and I'm not as impressed, but it also doesn't have Megan, so there you go. And the last one I have on my list for August is Sorry Not Sorry by Demi Lovato. Again, I don't know when this song came out. I feel like it's been a couple of years. I'd never heard it until I think I was driving one of the cars for the clinic and it was playing. Or I was at a grocery store or something. I find it really empowering. I'm sad that I can't reach all of those notes that she reaches in the song, but it feels good. Like, it's an anthem, definitely. I don't think I've ever heard any other Demi Lovato song except whatever she did in Camp Rock, because I watched that first one when I think a little bit after it came out. So that one's a fun song, and people would probably be surprised to hear me listening to it, or maybe not. I don't know. I have pretty eclectic taste. So the last playlist I have for 2019 was October. The first song I have on here is Party Animal by Phantom Planet. It was their first really new song in like a decade. This was an awesome song. It does feel like a party. I love Alex's voice. It's so good. It has that really good rock feel, and it makes me super happy. I'm actually planning on getting a Phantom Planet tattoo at some point. I just keep spending money on cameras and other things. So maybe by the end of the year, maybe that should be a goal. Another of my favorite artists is Alex Johnson. She's got one of my favorite voices of all time. It's probably her and John Graney, who you've never heard of. Her voice fills my heart with warmth. It feels so good. I'm not an alto soprano, so I can't sing all of the songs that she does, but when I can sing along, I do. And sometimes I sing along even when I can't, as long as nobody's around. Running with the Devil was a song that she had released, I think with her brother, like years and years ago, and I had only heard it live like once or twice, so I was really excited to hear a new version of it. If you're looking for a nice soulful female voice, I would suggest you check her out. She's got good stuff. I have some Dove Cameron songs on here too. If you don't know who Dove Cameron is, she was a Disney kid. She was on Liv and Maddie. She did the Descendants movies and I think a couple of other things. I love her voice. She can hit these really amazing notes that I can never hit. Like, even if I trained forever and I started taking lessons again, her voice is in the stratosphere. That's how high the notes are. And she released her first like solo personal music where it wasn't for a movie or a TV show, and it's so good. It's like poppy fun. I've been listening to it a lot actually this past month too, but that month I was really heavy into it because she had just released it. And I have the songs Bloodshot Waste and So Good. She's come up with another one since then and I love that one too. They're like feel-good party jams and I love that. And I think throughout the year too, that's it for my playlist, but throughout the year I know that I was listening to a lot of Jukebox the Ghost's new album. What's it called? Off to the Races. They did some Queen style stuff that was amazing. The vocal layering, especially in the first song, Jump Started. I was like, it's not called Off to the Races, it's called Jump Started. Amazing. You should listen to it if you like Queen at all, or like power pop or piano rock or whatever. I know they've toured with Ben Folds before, and that's actually not how I found them, but it's really good stuff. It's really fun. That whole album is really good. I love those boys. They're one of my favorite bands too. And I was also, like every other person on the planet, listening to Lizzo the whole year. I really just want to say that whole album I listen to constantly. I still listen to it a lot. My young niece that I pick up sometimes loves it, and so I listen to it with her. I listen to it on my own. I make other people listen to it. It's a really good album. Because I Love You. That was a really good album. And it makes me so happy. And I will listen to it until the end of time, probably. Because she's just that good. So that's kind of it for my overview of songs from last year. Not all of the songs are from last year, obviously. But they are songs that caught my attention or got stuck in my head or what have you. If you want more in-depth about that, I would check out my website, danitsawrites.com, and I will link a Spotify playlist in the description box below. If you found this interesting at all, please subscribe, and if you didn't, well, it is what it is. I guess I'm done.